Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com, and this will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, July 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses technical analysis within your trading to make decisions, or maybe you're just new to technical analysis and the tool of charts and you're interested in more and how they can be used to, make good decisions as traders, then this will be a video for you. And on that note, if you are new, then real quick, just keep in the back of your mind as I go through the content here that if you are interested because you like what you hear and you can start to see the value of using technical analysis, then I am offering a free live class this Thursday that you can get signed up for. So if you're watching on YouTube, just down in the description box, click on the link. Or if you're watching at claytrader.com, then there will be several areas around the video that you can click. But like I said, just keep that in the back of your mind as I go through the content. If you're thinking, okay, I can see how this tool could be used to help make good, solid decisions, to build consistency, then like I said, get signed up for the class. It's totally free, and I just wanted to personally invite you. First one here, ticker symbol SPY, which is just showing us the overall markets of the S&P 500. And yeah, if you're not aware, the markets had a pretty rough day today, so there's a lot of bearish headlines out there. But as of now, I'm just very skeptical of any sort of bearishness. Why am I skeptical? Well, it has to do with, let me squeeze this down here, and we're looking at the daily time frame. But ever since the price got up above that purple line way back there in November, there's been several instances where the price has gotten right around it. And in some of these instances, the prices dropped below it. So right there, drop below it, everything turned around okay. Right there, price dropped below it, everything okay. Right there, slightly below it, everything okay. Right there, basically bounced right off it. Slightly below it, everything okay. Slightly below it, everything okay. And once again, we have this situation where the price is sitting right at that purple line. Now, don't get me wrong, just because all these other situations, everything happened to be okay, that doesn't guarantee that this situation is going to be okay, because there are no guarantees in the market. However, from just a rational, from a logical thought process, to sit here and say, I'm not going to sit here and think that it's the end of the world because the price is down around that area. It had a big, gap down today because the last several times it's been around the purple line. It's been okay. That's not irrational at all. In fact, I would argue that's the best way to approach this. Now, to be fair, maybe today is the start of a much bigger pullback. That's always possible. But as of now, I'm still skeptical just because for the reason of, well, the price has been down around this purple line before and everything has turned out to be okay. But it is still very important now because you have to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, okay, well, the price is down around this certain area. How is it going to behave moving forward? So that is a very, very big and wise question to be asking. But if you're asking me, Clay, is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. The price has been down here before. So in other words, the next couple of days is going to be very, very revealing. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and quick little just kind of context point. This is the 30-minute time frame. So we were just looking at SPY daily time frame. So 30-minute just means each one of these now represents 30 minutes, and that'll be the standard time frame that I usually use. So let's talk about with AMC here. And things like the majority of the market were not looking good. Big gap down, was breaking through all sorts of levels of support. But then you got to give definitely credit where credit's due. Very impressive bounce from these lows up to where it was. Great move. Now, yeah, there's still a whole lot of work that needs to be done. But point being, it did show a good amount of strength there. So what I'm going to do here is actually just get rid of that line. And really, yes, 32 is still a key level. But given that the bleeding stopped today down there at the 31.15 mark, I'm going to call that one of the newest overall levels of support. But now going forward, the level that's really going to help us answer the question of, okay, yeah, mission accomplished today. Very, very impressive bounce. Well, let's just see, and continue to monitor the health of this bounce via this line right here, which I'll change to green to represent more of the uptrending trend line there. So point here being that as long as the price can stay above that trend line, then that means that this bounce here is operating at full health, full strength. Now, if the price slightly drops below there, does that mean that the price is crashing down to below 31.15? I'm not saying that. But as far as, like I said, just asking and answering, because it's a good question. Okay, wow, AMC bounced today. But I mean, is there any sort of true power behind the bounce? Well, let's see if the price can stay above that trend line. And as long as the price is above it, then as far as I'm concerned, that implies that the bulls are operating at full strength. And then as far as levels of resistance, still have this overall level up here. But as I talked about in past videos, the main area, which surprise, surprise, once again, the price is struggling with, is that purple line right there. So the 50-period moving average definitely going to be a very key level to watch. Right now valued at about the $35 mark. But all in all, anyway, look at it, good solid bounce. So let's see if this momentum can carry forward. Next one here, ticker symbol AEHR, and I'm not disappointed, but I thought I was going to be talking about nice little bull pull here with a nice breakout here, but then the last 30 minutes happened. The price just exploded up through the level that I thought I was going to be talking about. So just kind of a little funny irony there that the chart has really changed perspective quite a bit, and really kind of difficult now because, like I said, when the chart was looking like this, let me get that last 30 minutes out of the way. Then, like I said, I figured if the price stayed around that area, all right, well, we got the breakout point right there, got a nice little consolidation right here. So at that point, it was a good old-fashioned bull flag pattern. But now all of a sudden, boom, that last part has now put it in, I'm not saying that's bad for the chart. I'm just saying that if you're not in, then now you have to, throw out the question of, well, I don't want to be chasing the price. And right now, if you're just going up and buying around here, that could very well be chasing. But really the main thing going forward is let's see if the price can at least start to go sideways and consolidate out, or maybe pull back. And if the price does pull back, then, whoops, let me change that to, there we go. Any sort of pullback would be that previous area at the breakout right around 570. So if price comes down to 570, that would be, I would argue, a little bit more of a not chasing area. Or if you prefer even deeper pullbacks, another interesting area of support would be right around 525. If you do want to play the breakout, then the breakout point is just simply where the party and momentum stopped today, right up to around 675. But, you got to just question, I don't know, would you be chasing if you're trying to play that breakout? Maybe it's better to, try to play some sort of pullback. But that's where personal risk tolerance comes into play. There's many ways you can approach a chart. Or who knows, maybe you're looking at this chart and you think it looks like garbage. Maybe that's possible too. But my point here is that these are the levels that have now kind of revealed themselves to contain some significance. So we'll see how it goes on Tuesday. Next one here, ticker symbol SPCE, and like AMC, very, very impressive bounce. So I'm going to go ahead and just adjust this level out because one of the newest areas of support, I would argue, is more so down there at that $30 mark. But that's, I don't want to say it's irrelevant because that's not true, but I would say the more pressing area that I'm very curious about, again, like AMC, is the fact that, okay, this started to bounce. So can it now start to build and go through a nice, healthy little bounce here? And again, that's just kind of a random question to throw out there, but by using charts and technical analysis, we can make that, kind of question much more visual, and we can make that visual with this trend line right here. Meaning, as long as the price stays above that trend line, then as far as I'm concerned, the bounce is basically at full strength, it's at full power, and that's what you want to see. Now, even if the price does drop below the trend line, does that mean this thing is going to crash back down? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that as far as, what make this bounce look the healthiest and strongest, certainly staying above that trend line would accomplish that. In terms of areas of resistance, still do have this overall red line up there. But in fact, let's just bring this down so we don't create too much clutter and confusion with lines over the place. But in the much more near term, the key level going to be right there around $33.50. But overall, good solid bounce, and same exact question coming from AMC. All right, yeah, it bounced great, but now can this bounce build upon itself, get some more strength? Let's see how it goes. Next one here, ticker symbol XELA, and this will be a pretty quick analysis, and really only reason I'm doing it is because it was so popular last week. But Friday, gapped up, acted like it wanted to be strong, pulled back, and then today the pullback continued. But really, in my mind, it all revolves around two key areas as far as the chart is concerned. And even if you have a basic surface deep understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of these areas. But the first area is right here, the pink line, which on my chart represents the very well-known, the very famous 200 period moving average, currently valued at 286. So from an overarching standpoint, that's a very important level of support. Again, like I said, this is just basic technical analysis. If the price were to come down here and then just blast down through that area, that's going to make things look very, very sketchy. And in my opinion, that's a reversal point, and I think that's the point where people just completely lose interest and drift away and find other things. But if the price can at least maintain above it, that at least keeps people interested, because at least when people pull up the chart and look at it, they can say, oh, okay, it's still above the 200 period moving average. So there is at least something to hang on to from a bullish standpoint. But like I said, yeah, if the price drops below there, then people pulling up the chart, they're going to really have nothing good to say. I'll be like, well, geez, now the price is even broken down below the 200 period moving average, and they're going to struggle to find something good. Now, if the price does stay above it and then it bounces upwards, then that main area of resistance still remains a purple line there, which by this point, is the 50 period moving average. Current value of that right there at 350. But yeah, things are looking pretty shaky right now. However, still got to be fair because it's above that 200 period moving average. So let's see if the price can at least stay above it. Next one here, ticker symbol NRXP. And interesting setup here. Big volume came in today, which is really the main reason why it's interesting. But then the price movement has given us a very, kind of straightforward pattern. And the pattern revolves around the fact of, all right, it can move very nicely. And as of, I don't know, am I chasing? You definitely would not be chasing, given that there's been this big old pullback. But that's also kind of the catch-22, because, yeah, it's been a big old pullback. So maybe, just maybe, this is the start of something much bigger and it continues to collapse. So that's always, a possibility too. But the point here is you got the big pullback, but it has stayed above that pink line there. Again, the 200 period moving average. So we'll get that mapped out here. So there is still plenty of opportunity right there by staying above, give or take the $11 mark. Where if the price were to stay above 11, then overall, they still got a chance at having a nice overall higher base. compared to where it was. And from an overarching standpoint, you know, that's what you would want to see. Now, there is perspective that goes into this. If you've already bought and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes, well, then yeah, from that angle, the chart looks terrible. But assuming you're just staying back and kind of watching and observing, then yeah, there's been big pullback. And the other part about the big pullback is the last 30 minutes, got a good solid hammer candle. So makes a nice little interesting dynamic there. So if the price does try to bounce back upwards, as far as areas of resistance are concerned, first key level in the pretty near term going to be right there around the 1275 mark. And then after 1275, next key level up there right around the 1485 mark. So like I said, it's really just a play of, do you still believe this is just a pullback? Now, obviously, if you believe this is the start of a much bigger reversal, then you just want to step away. But if you're thinking, yeah, no, I think this thing is just a little pullback before another move upwards, well, then here you go. You're definitely not chasing the price, and it's worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one here, ticker symbol LCLP. Once again, Ben, I think this is now the third top 10 in a row I've done this one, but it remains very solid. The volume remains crazy. And today, from a technical point of view, accomplished something very solid, actually put in a new higher high. So whenever you have higher highs being put in, that implies that there's trends being built. And then just the other part of the trend is the price putting in higher lows, and it absolutely is. So like I said, from any angle you look at it, higher highs or higher lows, this one's continued to build those higher bases, and that's what you want to see. Again, though, there is a bit of perspective here that's coming into this. If you are a flipper, day trader, scalper, and you bought up there, you bought right there and wanted to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well then, yeah, from that angle, things are not looking so good. However, taking a step back, looking at this all from the bigger picture, you can see that, especially if I squeeze this down more, the overall trend is still perfectly fine. And really, instead of drawing a trend line, let's just use that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. So as time goes by, that line will move itself higher and higher. So this is basically like a trend line that's going to draw itself for us. So in other words, as long as the price continues to stay above that purple line, then that implies that the price is above the trend line. And as long as the price is above that trend line, that's telling us that the overall trend is still plenty bullish. So keep an eye on that. And then as far as really levels of resistance are concerned, I realize this area was broken today, but because the price couldn't stay above it, in my opinion, at least, this is still going to be that main area of resistance right at 0.057. But overall, the trend continues. Next one here, ticker symbol CYTK. Very interesting setup here moving forward, just because, this morning showed this one can move very quickly. But like the other ones, you still just ask yourself, okay, it has pulled back quite a bit from the highs, but I would not consider this a crash or anything like that. As of now, you have yourself some well-defined areas, which is always good. So you have an area right down there at, we'll call it 2675, where let's see, once, twice, 3 times. So 4 times this afternoon, the bears came down, tried to press through, couldn't do it. So you definitely have a track record right there of people being willing and wanting to buy. Now, does that mean that it's going to remain that way? Absolutely not. But that's also why it's helpful, because if the price just crashes down through there, well, now all of a sudden you have to start to question, okay, well, maybe this consolidation wasn't nearly as healthy. And the other part about, breaking down through there is it puts it in this big old void before the gap is closed. Now, gaps don't have to close, so think about that. If gaps had to close, then that would imply that there's guarantees in the market which don't exist. But my point here is if the price does break below that area, well, then all of a sudden you have the price in kind of this no man's land of the chart, so things get pretty shaky. However, if the price can prove that it continues to want to, consolidate around that area and then work its way back upwards, as I already noted, this one has shown it can move very quickly. So in the near term, that first key level of resistance would be 28.75, and then that would be followed up there around the $30 mark. So keep an eye on those couple levels if this does turn out to be just a healthy little consolidation. But yeah, I think a lot of eyeballs will continue to be watching it on Tuesday. Next one here, ticker symbol AHPI. And what was it? I think AEHR is the one that kind of ruined my party by ruining the setup, but not the case here. The setup is fully in play and all eyes. So this is by no means some sort of great discovery on my part. I assure you, people that use charts, understand charts, are watching this level. And I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same level and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And I guarantee you there's all sorts of people that have noticed that this area right here around 1025, especially after today being the rejection point, is going to be the main battleground. So there's going to be so many people watching that level, and while that doesn't guarantee anything, it does make it at least rational and valid to think that if the price can turn itself around, get up to 1025 and get a break up through there, that break in and of itself could very well create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure, and very realistically, push it up to the $12 mark, if not higher. But, again, one hurdle at a time. First, the price has got to get back up to that area. Second, the price has got to break through it. And you're going to want a high volume break. But if all those things can occur, then yeah, we have a very, very interesting setup here that's taken place. So yeah, all eyes on 1025. Let's see if the break can happen. Next one here, UVXY. Now, I started off with SPY. which is, just showing the overall markets. But this is one of these ETFs where if you think that the market is going to get more bearish, if you think SPY, if this is just the start of a much bigger move to the downside, well, then this is a way to make money, even if the overall markets, do go down. Because if the markets go down, UVXY is going to move up. So that's, like I said, just a way to actually play and still make money, even if markets are going down. And you can see a very interesting last 30 minutes here. Last 30 minutes, big old red candle. So big pullback here. I would not call that a reversal. Now, it's still more than valid to throw out the question. I don't know, is this the start of something much bigger to the downside? It very well could be. If today's pullback in the markets was just a one-day wonder, then yeah, that red candle is just going to get that much bigger. However, just from, I don't know, I don't want to chase the price. Well, you no longer have to worry about chasing the price because of that big old pullback. So if you're, wanting that, but I'd like to see a little bit more of a pullback, but where's an interesting area? Well, right down there around the 33 mark, very interesting pullback level. Where if the price, came down there, I mean, that would be a big drop from where it was. But I mean, think about it. Even if it dropped all the way down there, you'd still have this set of lows. You'd have a set of lows there. You'd have a set of lows down here, and you envision those as stair steps. And overall, you'd still very clearly have stair steps in the upwards direction. So that may seem like a huge move and a huge pullback, but within the grand scheme of things, as you see here, that would just be actually a pretty modest pullback. But again, no longer any worries about, oh, am I chasing the price? Now, if you want to wait for some sort of confirmation to the upside, that main area of resistance can be right up there around 38, 35. But overall, very interesting one, especially during these, very volatile times. The volume in this one really kicks up. And like I said, now if you're not going to manage risk, if you don't know how to manage risk, well, I mean, you shouldn't even be trading in that set of circumstances. But you definitely shouldn't be trading, ETFs such as UVXY. But like I said, if you can play these ones right, then they can move very big. So it's at least worth keeping an eye on. And that's going to wrap up the top 10 here. So like I said, I started the video. I want to end the video by personally inviting you to the class. So if you like what you saw, if you can see the value in using tools to help make good decisions so that you can build consistency as a trader, then get signed up. Like I said, the class is this Thursday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's always the key, Eastern time there. But like I said, yeah, you'll learn all about shorts, the short charts, and shorts, longs, the philosophy of them, how you should use charts, how you shouldn't, and just how you to build consistency, and just kind of learn more about why they work and how they should be used. And like I said, want to invite you to get signed up for that. If you do enjoy these top 10 videos, then real quick, and if you would like for me to keep making them, then just do these things: hit the like button, leave a comment, even if it's the basic thumbs up emoji. But those two things go a very long way in communicating to me that you do enjoy this format. And as long as I know people enjoy the format, then I'll keep keep putting these top 10 videos out there. So thanks for watching. Like I said, if you're interested in learning more about charts, want to invite you to that class, so go get signed up for it. And then if you just want me to keep making these top 10 videos in general, hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below.